It's the midpoint of 2024 and a lot of our vision boards have seen a lot of dust or maybe buried deep in our camera roll. A lot of us haven't seen as much progress for 2024 as we've hoped, and we're kind of relying on these last 6 months to really save our 2024 and carry us through our goals. But here's the thing, you don't need 6 months, you only really need 3. Why? Well, Parkinson's law says that whatever amount of time you allot for a task is how long it will take you to complete it. So instead of elongating completing your goals for a whole nother 6 months, aka procrastinate even longer, let's actually get it done in 3 using the 12-week year. Today I'm going to give a step-by-step guide on how to change your life in the next 12 weeks and give you the tools to accomplish it. Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Dr. Quindle Jones, but you can call me Quin. I'm a 27-year-old applied mathematician with my PhD in systems modeling and analysis. For my trade, I create mathematical models of real-world systems, specifically in biology. But for fun, I create lifestyle vlogs about staying authentic while elevating and transforming throughout life. So I talk a lot about systems, productivity, healthy habits, womanhood, and general life lessons. So if that's your thing, I would definitely stick around. And today we're really going to talk about a system to help you change your life in the next 12 weeks. So get down your pen and paper and let's get into how you're going to change your life. Starting with day 1. This is our time to set our goals or reset our goals. What were your 2024 goals? How many of those have you actually accomplished? How many of those are still relevant? On what actions are aligned with the goals you still have left. Let's write those down. If your goal is to reach 1,000 subscribers, what kind of actions does that require you take? Recording videos, editing videos, planning videos. If your goal is to lose 10 pounds by the end of the year, what actions does that require? Should you get some kind of fitness plan? Should you make one? Do you have a walking routine? Do you have a nutrition plan? What actions are aligned with meeting the goals that you have left? I mentioned before that my PhD is in systems modeling and analysis, which means I have a specific understanding of how all things can be interpreted or understood as systems or a set of steps in order. And I have written out a sheet where our lifestyles can be thought of as systems, where our daily choices go into making up who we are, and who we are produces the outcomes of our lifestyle. So by changing our daily choices, we change how we behave, and that changes the outcomes of our lives. So we have to choose better choices and be very intentional about the steps we make in order to change the outcomes we see. So there is a sheet and a booklet in the description giving you a life as a system template, and there is a goals to system sheet to complete, meaning how do we turn those actions we just listed into a set of steps, some kind of routine to meet that goal. Once we have set our goals first day, we are in the first 2 weeks of changing our life. So for these first 2 weeks, we're going to complete a life audit, meaning we need to create some awareness about how we actually live. We're not really changing anything about ourselves just yet. We're actually just taking stock or inventory of who we already are and how well do we like the person that we already are. So once we've set the destination of our goals, we've set a pin somewhere, we have to determine where we are and the distance between where we want to be. And this requires us to be very, very honest with ourselves and also very gracious with ourselves. How often are you meeting the standards that you set for yourself? I found that it's actually kind of wild how often what we think we're doing and what we actually doing are so different. We often have no real concrete idea of exactly what we're doing, and that can create a lot of dissonance in creating sustainable and realistic plans for moving forward. We have to bring attention to the things we say we want to change that we are already doing in our lives. So we're building some awareness in this life audit. So the actionable steps you're going to take is tracking your habits. You wrote the goals of the actions you want to take. Now you want to track how often you actually do those things. There's a habit tracker below in the description, and there is a report card. So what I mean by this is here on my channel in the community tab, you can see that I create a weekly report card that I share with y'all. So on this report card, I have my habit tracker, and from that habit tracker, I can create a grade. If I have 7 days of the week, how many days out of 7 do I meet that goal? That's a percentage that you can think of as a grade, a measurement of how much you are meeting your goal. And I do that for all my goals, and I share it. I can show you my last 2 weeks, and they're not exactly what I would hope for, but I have a realistic understanding of what I've been doing instead of, oh yeah, I've been working out. Saying that, guessing, can often really be lying. Just like we think we're in a calorie deficit, and then when we track our food, we see that we are eating way past one serving. Or how we think that we have gotten so much work done, and then it's time to finish, and you see you still have 2 more hours of work. There's often a dissonance between what you're actually doing and what you think you're doing. So using the habit tracker for these first 2 weeks, you want to see exactly how you measure up. This is not about changing anything. This is about figuring out, what am I doing? And at the end of these 2 weeks, it's like, oh, I do way more than I think I do, where I'm not actually doing any of the things I thought I was doing as often as I said I was. You know, just creating some awareness about what your actions are so that you can make a realistic plan forward. And you're going to do this for 2 weeks so that you can really see how your life changes week to week, because maybe you just have one off week, or maybe it's a pattern. You need a little more time to figure that out. Also on my report card, I have a section for my feelings. While I do think that quantitative data is important so that we know, through numbers how we're behaving, I also think it's important to know how we're feeling about our behavior. I find that life is about how we feel about our choices, and so I define success as being happy with my choices. And so I won't really know unless I am thinking about what I'm doing and how I feel about what I'm doing. And so I have this weekly practice of, what did I do this week? How do I feel about this week? Did my actions align with my goals? How do I want to move forward next week? Am I looking forward to anything? This just keeps me really engaged with my actual actions and keeps me a reminder of what my goals are, because I have to check those boxes. Do not underestimate the power of checking boxes, okay? Don't underestimate it. Once you have done a life audit and you've taken stock of what your behavior truly is, it's time to do a practice run or an audition for the person you want to be. This is your test run. This is not day one. You know how you start a challenge and it's like day one. This is not that. That's not for 2 more weeks. Weeks 2 to 4, or weeks 3 and 4, we are going to practice those habits that we saw that we weren't meeting the way we wanted to. The goal of weeks 3 and 4 is to actually just do a little bit better. This is your practice run for your day 1. Every day, just try to improve a bit more than what you did last week. If you met your goal 4 out of 7 times last week, this week try to do it 5 or maybe 6. Also, I'm sweating so bad in this hat in the sunlight. Oh my gosh. That's okay though. This is the time to figure out how you can create space for the things you want. And sometimes that will require you to remove other things. If you want to walk more, maybe we need to figure out, how do we fit it into our lunch break? How do I walk while doing my work? How can I create room for getting in more movement? How do I create room for journaling the way I want to, for committing to my business as much as I want to, for eating the way I want to? What kind of practices should I do? This is the time to figure out and play around while also still tracking your behavior. These whole 12 weeks, we are tracking our behavior and our feelings. Let's just make that clear. But in weeks 3 and 4, we're still not pushing ourselves the way we will in the following weeks. We're trying to practice. This will keep you from putting too much pressure on yourself. You don't need a whole giant list of rules to follow, nor do you need a whole giant list of things you can't do. Neither of those things is conducive to a sustainable approach. Now is just the time to figure out how to do better with what you are already doing, how to habit stack on top of the habits you've already built. Maybe if you want to do a morning walk, maybe do it right after your morning tea. If you really want to journal at night, do it right before your skincare or putting on your bonnet. Figuring out ways to habit stack things you want to do with things you're already doing. That's what you're going to do in these 2 weeks, and then compare that behavior, those habit tracker grades, to the previous 2 weeks and hopefully see some improvement. Now that you have 4 weeks of data to go through, you can actually do a monthly review. Something that I've also done in my monthly plan with me's, where we take all 30 days, 31 days, however many days, and see how often we met our goals over a larger period of time, and see how we're meeting our goals month to month. This will allow you to evaluate how you really want to move forward and reprioritize for the next 4 weeks, because the next 4 weeks are the real start. Weeks 5, 6, 7, and 8 are our new life test run. This is when we get serious. This is when we actually commit to the behaviors that we have written down in our goals to systems page. We are committing to hitting that checkbox as often as possible. Again though, I do want to say that if you don't hit it every day, that's okay, but the goal is to aim for that. I share my weekly report cards to show that life is a continual set of choosing better. Some weeks will be better than others, some months will be better than others, but unless you have that intention and that focus and that awareness of your behavior, it's going to be a lot harder to get where you want to be if you don't ever know where you are and appreciate where you are. So now that we're starting this new life test run, we are pushing ourselves. We are hitting those boxes as often as we can. I have learned that keeping my word to myself has made the most significant difference in becoming the person I am today. By keeping my word of I said I was going to wake up early, I said I was going to walk, I've built trust in myself, in my word. I know that what I say matters, that it is important to me, and that I will follow through. And now I have the confidence and assurance in myself to know that any goal I set, I can accomplish. I've seen it with my PhD, my weight loss, my YouTube. I know I can do what I want because I do what I say. So you really have to continually show up for yourself and show yourself that you can do the things you're trying to do. If you never actually do those actions and practice being who you want to be, it's not just going to happen overnight. You have to build up into that habit, and this is how we do it. I also recommend that during these 4 weeks, your real start, that you create some kind of external accountability. We have internal accountability by using the habit trackers and doing our weekly review and our monthly review, but creating external accountability really can be an extra set of motivation if you really need it. Maybe you want to share your workout history stats with your friend every time you finish. Maybe you want a Finsta where you can post your workouts every day. Maybe you want to join a walking group. Maybe you want to share, your workouts on your Instagram and do that tagging people thing. Like some kind of external accountability so that you stay focused and you have that internal motivation that you've already been building up. It'll keep that momentum going. And I've learned that motivation comes with momentum. It really doesn't come until you start moving. Like this is the time to get serious and create any kind of accountability and motivation and discipline so that you can really carry yourself through to the success line, to the finish line at the end of these 12 weeks. And now we've made it to the last 4 weeks of this experiment. Weeks 9, 10, 11, and 12. And I say experiment because as a scientist, as a researcher, I see so many things as experiments, as opportunities to learn and play, to fuck around and find out. That's really what we are doing, and that's how you change your life, by actually putting actions to practice. I know as a scientist that the only way to know that something is true is to prove it. You say you want to be, or you are a writer, where's your writing? You are a content creator, where's your content? You're a gym girl, have you been in the gym? You are a scientist, what work are you doing? Like what proof have you created to support the belief that you are this person? That's what you are doing. You are doing actions, you're tracking your habits, you're tracking your feelings, and now you have a literal quantitative and qualitative proof of what you've been doing. And this is your proof that, wow, I've been showing up for myself. I've been feeling good. I've been feeling this way. And this affirms who I say I want to be. This is showing me that I can already be that person, that I am already that person. And that's what I really hope that you get from this experiment, that you collect 12 weeks worth of data and you can see yourself grow. You can see yourself change through pictures, through habits, through feelings. You can reflect on this and then decide at the end how you want to keep moving forward. One of my favorite sayings from one of my favorite creators, Aaron B. Creating, is I already am who I'm becoming. And that's because we're the kind of people who put actions behind our lucky girl affirmations. We actually do the things and show up for ourselves. Are you showing up for yourself? How are you showing up for yourself? Once you complete this 12-week experiment, you can fill out the quarterly review sheet where it's a life update, a habit tracker update, and a documentation of the last 12 weeks, and decide how you want to move forward. Do you like the life you're living? Do you like the choices you're making? If so, keep making more of those choices. If you don't, make better ones. So I really hope this experiment helps you and that you check in with me weeks 2, 4, 8, and 12. I really want to know how it's going. And again, every single tool that you need to complete this experiment is in the description below for free. The Life as a System, the habit trackers, the review sheets, and also if you would like a more aesthetic and full planning version of this experiment, I would definitely check out my digital planner, the Better Choices Planner. It has many of the spreads that I have just listed and many more for weekly, monthly, daily, and quarterly planning, along with note-taking sheets, fitness logs, meal plan sheets, and much more. So I would check that out for $4.99 or just download the free PDF booklet that's in the description. Either way, I really hope that you take this time to commit to who you want to be and make an everyday effort to make better choices. If you need some help and accountability in making those choices, we have started the We're Productive People Club. It's a club of like-minded individuals committed to staying ambitious and intentional, and we meet 3 times a week. We meet on Sundays to reset together, and we meet on Tuesdays and Fridays to co-work together. So if you want to join us on Zoom, fill out the form below at my email list link, and I can't wait to see you more one-on-one. I will also be doing this experiment as I've honestly just graduated with my PhD. I'm about to start a new position. I am kind of starting over my fitness journey to really lock into being a gym girl, and I am a vlogger, so I'll be taking you on this journey with me. So we are definitely doing this together, and I hope you join me on this journey because I too am getting my life together. Honestly, like I said, it is a continual everyday choice to make these better choices. So I hope we do this life thing together, and I can see you in my very next video. Bye, friend. So hot, so cute. Oh my gosh.